It's Tuesday, September 28th, and on the biblical calendar, it's the 7th month, Tishrei, the 20th, the 6th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. When sun sets tonight, the 7th day, the last day, begins, followed by a special 8th day, Shemini Atzeret, which is also Simchat Torah, when we literally rewind the Torah scroll to the beginning, which reminds us of the 8th day new beginnings. We get to start all over, a cutting off of our yesterdays for a brand new today, which should automatically remind us of the 8th day of Yeshua's circumcision. More on that on the 8th day, this Thursday at 12:45. If you're able to come on out and fellowship in Simcha, enjoy the Torah, the living Torah, Yeshua's naming and circumcision. Again, that's this Thursday at 12:45. Mishpocha, the days are turning and turning. Look, already, Tabernacles is about over. Before you know it, we'll be celebrating Hanukkah, followed by Passover. You know, clocks can stop, people can stop, things can stop working. Any and everything in some way can stop. Water can be turned off, electricity, friendships, businesses, fellowships, churches, even faith. But nothing can stop a new day. Even the old days, yesterdays, they had to surrender to the new. Each and every day is like a new beginning. It's something that has never been seen or experienced before. Each day, saints, is unique. Think about that. Every day is new. Yesterday is gone forever. Behold, today is all new. And with each new day, new revelation, a fresh new opportunity of change. Things are going one way in our lives and we want to alter them. A fresh new day is given to us for a new opportunity, a new beginning. Just like birth, it might start off with a struggle to get out. It starts off with a struggle to get out from our past. It might not be easy, it may take some weeping, but you will press through and transition from darkness to light. But we all have to try. What new wonders, what new doors await us this day? What positive choices will we make in this new day? And since it is still the 20th of Tishrei, the 6th day of Tabernacles, I decided to put this one out early. Those of you that may be viewing this later on this evening, no problem, because again, another day, another new beginning has begun once the sun sets. Remember, darkness in the womb is the beginning of our new days, breaking forth into the light. Now, I couldn't help but think of struggles, afflictions, pain, suffering, weeping, depression, you name it, any form of darkness, even sin. It's all just the beginning of our breakthrough, our new day, our new beginnings. They must all give way to the new day. Nothing can stop it. Today, I was reading in Lamentations, chapter 3. The word lamentation, it's the passionate expression of grief or sorrow. It's weeping. It's the book of the Bible that speaks of the desolation of Judah and the fall of Jerusalem, written by the prophet Jeremiah. And as I was reading, I zeroed in on verses 19 through 26. And of course, with all this speaking on the newness of each day, verse 22 and 23 speaks on the mercies of God, the compassion of God, and how they are renewed each and every day. Yesterdays are gone. Today, you receive brand new mercies. brand new, unexperienced before compassions. They are new, never experienced before, freely given to us each and every day. And guess what? They fail not. They never end. Nothing, in other words, just like I said about the day, people can stop, things can stop, but God's mercy, His grace, His compassion, they fail not. Let's look at verse 19. Zakar. Remember that word? Of course you do. It means to remember, to recall. It says, remembering, Zakar, remembering my affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My nephesh, my soul has them still in remembrance, and it's humbling in me. This I recall to mind, and therefore I have hope. It is of the Lord's mercies, chesed, His goodness, His kindness, His faithfulness, that we are not consumed. Why? Because His compassions, racham, they fail not. Verse 23, they are new every morning. Great is thy emunah, faithfulness, steadfastness, firmness. Yah remains. It is as the moed, the fixed times. His faithfulness, His steadfastness, His steadiness is unwavering. They cannot be moved. 24 says, the Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in Him. 25, the Lord is tov, good, unto them that kavah. This word means that you're looking for Him. You're expecting Him. It means you're wrapping yourself in Him. You're binding, collecting yourself with Him. Talk about tabernacles. Talk about Emmanuel, God with us. It says He is good unto them that wait for Him, to the soul that seeketh Him. And that word seeketh is dresh, meaning to resort to. So we are resorting and wrapping ourselves with the sukkah of God. 26 says, it is tov, it is good, that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation, the deliverance of the Lord. When I read through Lamentations, beginning with verse 1, I looked at it maybe in a different perspective than others. I related it to my life. You could probably do the same. 19 again said, remembering my affliction, my misery, the wormwood and the gall. I looked at that as when we lived according to the cares and the desires and lusts of our flesh, the pleasures of this world, having very little, if any, room or time for God. 20 and 21 says, my soul have them still in remembrance and is humbled in me when I think how I was living before turning to God. 21 says, this I recall to mind, and therefore I have hope. Have hope in what? That it was the Lord's mercies that I was not consumed. It was His long suffering, which never waxed old, even when we were not living at all for Him. He still was living for us. He still, Yeru Shalom, pointed, directed His shalom, His peace, His love towards us. After years and years and years of still living for the world, His compassion never failed. This is why we were not destroyed. We were not consumed in them. Wow. This is why we are humbled when we remember how He kept us when we were in bondage, willful bondage. We made the choice to live a certain way. We made the choice to say yes to the world and no to God. Some of us were brought up in church, and the moment we were able to break free, became adults, independent, we wanted to explore the world. Again, it was his compassions that kept us from being consumed, from being destroyed. Hallelujah. And note, they were new each and every day. Yet we were not thinking about him. He still commended his love to stand and walk with us. As it is written, he gave his angels charge over us to keep us while we were still in our rebellious, worldly, lustful ways. I look at those verses as reminding us of our past. While we didn't want to have anything, very little, to do with God, he was still calling us friend. Again, verse 20, it humbles me. He could have left us in that state. He could have let us perish, wanting to be attached to the world, but he did not. He kept us in all our wicked and rebellious ways. His compassion, his love carried us through it all. It's humbling. This again is why 21 says, I recall to mind, and therefore today I have hope. This new day, I have hope. Why? Because even back then, when I was enemies towards God, rebellious towards him, he poured out great mercies, great compassions, renewed them each and every morning. How much more so now? Surely he sees our tomorrows, and he knows every single weakness, every struggle, every wormwood, every single pit that may cause us to stumble. Yet his mercies remain steadfast, unmovable. Just think about that. Really think about it. All the willful sin, all the wormwood and the gall we willfully drank. His holiness had every right to separate himself from us, to allow us to perish, to be consumed. But his unmatched mercies, his unmatched great compassions, his grace said no. He remained steadfast. He remained faithful to us, even when we were not faithful to him. Remember, he established us. He picked us. He chose us from the foundation of the world. He always had his awesome hand on us. It is humbling to it should be humbling to our souls. If you are not humbled by that, something is wrong. If this doesn't make you, just thinking about your past, doesn't make you love him more, then something is wrong. If we were treated the way we treated God, no way would we remain. But look who's still tabernacling with us. Look who's still Emmanuel, God with us. He remained even then. Talk about being in a tabernacle, in a sukkah. He was a sukkah of protection all around us. Again, verse 21, this I recall to mind. Therefore, knowing all of this, I have hope. Verse 22, it is Yah's mercies that we were not consumed. It was Yah's chesed, his goodness, his kindness, his faithfulness, not ours, that we were not destroyed in our sin. Because guess what? His compassions. Now let's look at that word compassion. It's 7356 in your Hebrew Strong's Concordance. It means racham. Saints, the word is associated with a woman that is pregnant. It says it is deep love for the fetus inside the womb. And think about that. That's because God knows one day you're going to be birthed. He knows that seed that he put in us. One day, even though we were knuckleheads back then, he knew one of these days that greatness is going to break forth, come out of that darkness into the light. That greatness is going to become a new day, transitioning from darkness into light. And guess what? All of our yesterdays, All of our past is erased. It's gone. And talk about having hope. The mercies, listen to this, the mercies that you experienced back then in your yesterdays, okay? They are not the same mercies. They are new. They are even greater. They are even stronger than they were back then. That's why it says great is his faithfulness, his steadfastness, his compassion, his racham, his great love is for you. You are his child, always has been, because he chose you before the foundation of the world. And he already knows the plan he has for you. He knows he's going to bring you out of Egypt. He's going to turn your weeping into joy, your labors into jewels. Your struggles are your testimonies that will help build another person into the tabernacle of Yah. Remember, they were slaves in Egypt. They learned trades. And what happened? They used that to the glory of God in helping build a tabernacle for him. And that's what we will do with our testimonies, our struggles, even our depressions, our sorrows. We'll use them as testimonies to help someone else that's going through, which will build them up into that same temple of God. Remember, each and every day is new, reminding us that his mercies are new every morning. And he makes it new just for you. Great is his emunah, faithfulness, his steadfastness. Shalom, and I'll see you on the 8th day, Yah willing.